Welcome everybody. Welcome to today's webinar entitled LIMS Renewal, Upgrade or Buy New. I just wanted to also reiterate to what Megan had said, is that your questions are important and I will get to all of them. So if you do have ones along the way, please feel free to write them down in the question or chat bar and we'll get to them towards the end. I wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of who is speaking to you today. So here you see me up in the right-hand corner. My name is Howard Rosenberg. I've been involved in the informatics industry for probably about 25 years now. I guess I got to update this slide a little bit. And I have expertise with a whole variety of different lab informatics systems, the lab information systems, electronic lab notebooks, lab execution systems, chromatography data systems, scientific data management systems, combination systems, all kind of things along the way. And I've had the privilege and opportunity to operate and work in a variety of different environments, including pharma and biotech and environmental and food and beverage, and different type of labs, everything QC, R&D, contract laboratories and the like. So I've over the years developed a tremendous knowledge base of the different processes and procedures and workflows that go on in these laboratories. And along the way, I've sort of picked up, I guess you would call it, an expertise in IT. So if you, and this is really more self-taught than anything formal, but I do understand and can converse with you if you want to talk database structures or networking or whatever you might have inside of the IT when it comes to laboratory informatics solutions and how they are used and how they work and the like. I can answer those type of questions for you. And of course, back in the way dark ages, I actually have a doctorate in analytical chemistry. So I do understand the chemistry and the science of what goes on in most of these type of laboratories, although maybe some translational medicine stuff might be a little bit beyond me these days, but everything else seems to be relatively good. So that's me. And just to make sure that you're in the right place, this is the agenda for today. We're going to talk a little bit about the difference between what an upgrade and a migration is, because oftentimes, I guess we call them either providers or vendors, can use these terminology in different ways to their advantage or what their perceived advantage. And I want to make sure we're all clear and on the same page when it comes to what an upgrade is and what a migration is. We'll go through what the top reasons people generally use or find for upgrading their LIMS, and then what the top reasons are for, instead of upgrading, to actually selecting a whole new solution. Part of this analysis in determining which way you want to go and what you're going to do is to be able to do a full cost-benefit analysis. And we're going to go through what those costs are and how to quantify the cost of either upgrading or buying a new system or the like, and looking at how one figures out the quantitative as well as the qualitative benefits and how you use that to develop an ROI or return on investment type of process or statement. We'll take a look at that point about how one goes about planning, whether you're doing an upgrade or a migration or a whole new implementation, what the basic steps you'll be needing to do to go through the planning stages to ensure your success. We'll talk about the differences between optimization and harmonization while you're going through this process. Change management, again, regardless of which way you end up going, upgrading or getting something new. It's always important to manage the change that either of those scenarios will drive. We'll have a summary and then we'll leave time for questions and answers. So to dive in, let me give you a little bit of a definition here of what an upgrade is versus a migration, right? So an upgrade is when you replace the existing software with a newer version, right? This usually, one of the key things to learn is that it usually does not require any special tools to do an upgrade. All right, so that's usually, if you're doing an upgrade, you're going from like 1.2 point something to 2.0.0 or something like that, or 2.0.1. So the major number there in an upgrade is changing. If it's a minor number in the naming scheme, 1.2.3 to 1.2.4, that's usually called an update, a much less intense process and much easier to do. So just for your edification, there is an update as well, but those are usually minor releases of a product. It doesn't necessarily have to have a lot of work involved. It depends, of course, on how complex the update and what it's actually fixing or providing. The other side of the coin is a migration. And a migration is really the ability or the need to replicate from one application or from one product into another. Now, what that means is that you need to migrate information from one system to another. Now, the same vendor might have made both products, but they are different products. And one of the things we'll tell you this is if, when they start telling you that you need to develop a new set of forms for your front end, and the old forms just don't automatically flow over and translate, that's a migration, right? If you have to, the definitions of your, let's say, your tests are not flowing across when you do the movement, even though they might have called it an upgrade. When I'm saying they, I mean your vendor or provider. It's really a migration, right? So it's very important to actually understand what is entailed in this upgrade and or migration, right? So you have to decide whether you want to take the blue pill or the red pill from the matrix type of environment, as you probably are aware. So they are different. They do have different, requirements and different efforts involved, and we're going to go through some of that.